Hello, hello. Hi guys. Hello Nishant. Hi Vignesh. Hello Abhishek. Welcome, welcome to this episode of Under the Hood by Underdog. Hi Gaurav. And today we are going to talk about Counter Strike. Hello Shiv. Hi everyone. So yeah, this is the third episode. In the first episode, we discussed about GTA. We spoke about a lot of insights on the story, how GTA was created. In the second episode, we did the same for Limbo, which was one of the most popular indie game, uh, greatest game of all time. And today, we are going to discuss similar things about Counter Strike. Hi from YouTube. I don't, I don't see the name. Okay. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes. We'll wait for a couple of minutes so that if anybody wants to join in, and then we can start discussing about the game. Hi Raju. Hello. How's it going? All right, guys. If you haven't checked the auction panel yet, uh, it's on the top top right corner of your screen. There's a section called as auction. You just need to, if you want to have a one-on-one mentorship, you can just go to the auction panel and bid, and I'll choose the bid, and we'll do a one-on-one session separately. If you want to join the live stream, you can just do that. There's a second option over there. You can choose that. All right, are we doing live development? We're not doing any kind of development. We're just discussing about the game. We're just talking about how the game came to life. Um, it's a high level discussion on the game concept and the existence of the game. So development is not the part of this discussion. So let's directly start with the game. Let people join in, and I'll start with the basics. Which company built Counter Strike? Okay, I'll share the details step by step. Right. So the game Counter Strike, right? It's a basically I everybody knows what Counter Strike is, and for those who have never heard of Counter Strike, it's a first-person multiplayer shooter game, and it has a it is a unique mechanism where you either group either form a team as a counter terrorists or terrorists and fight against each other. It's a time-based game where you do a certain objective. Probably it's like the capturing is like capturing the area or bombing the area, and then probably winning the match. So there's a base core, base level concept, and then a lot of iterations have been done on top of it. Now, hi Srihari, hello Kunjesh. Yes, Valve is the answer, but I'll tell you how what really happened. So Valve is a company which currently owns Steam platform. We all know, if you want to download a PC game. If you want to buy a PC game, you have to go to the Steam store. It's one of the options, obviously, but you can go to the Steam store and buy the game, right? And Steam is one of the biggest store for PC, and Valve basically owns that platform. But the very first game that this company made was Half-Life, and that was back in 1998. Half-Life was very popular. It was a first-person shooter game. It didn't have multiplayer functionality into it, and it really, changed the whole scene in the gaming industry. Because before Half-Life, there were few games like Quake 3, Doom, which were first-person shooter games, Wolfenstein 3D. Then there was a game called Unreal Tournament. But again, Unreal Tournament is still an upgraded version of what Counter-Strike is. But initially, there were not many games. There were only first-person shooter games. And then a team came up with modifications. In today's world, we call them mods. Right? You see a lot of funny videos on YouTube about GTA mods. You see Hulk in GTA. You see a lot of different characters doing different kind of stuff in GTA Online versions. These are basically mods, right? What is a mod? Mod is using the same engine, using the same game, and modifying it by making changes into the source code, right? And most of the games, like the bigger games, sometimes offer these kind of functionalities to the players, to the users, and that is what people around the globe are doing with GTA at this moment. But there were crazy people who used to do that back in those days as well. So in 1998, when Half-Life was hugely popular and people were playing it, it broke all the records during that time. And then there were people who were modding Half-Life. One of that mod was Counter-Strike. This is how the game started. So Counter-Strike is nothing but the mod of Half-Life. And this happened back in 1998 itself. By not 1998, basically 1999, and it was on Windows. So this mod, people started playing with this mod in 1999 on Windows, and it after Half-Life, this mod became so popular that people started playing this mod, which was called as Counter-Strike, and Valve got to know about this, and they were pretty impressed with the overall structure that these people have created, and then they bought the rights to the intellectual property for this mod. So it was that successful. Like people were, more than Half-Life, people were playing Counter-Strike, and that is why Valve has to, have to eventually buy the IP for that. And then once they did it, they released the game as a standalone game in November 2000 across various platforms. And then that was the official start of Counter-Strike. So yeah, technically, Valve created the engine which helped build Counter-Strike, but they didn't directly work on Counter-Strike. There were people who did it. There are third-party teams who did it, and in today's time also, the last version that Counter-Strike that Valve released was Global Offensive, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. That was back in 2012, and on that game also, people didn't, Valve didn't work 100% on that game. There are third-party companies, developers who work on it, and then eventually it's published. There were multiple iterations between 2000 to 2012. A lot of versions of CS 1.6. Then there was Condition Zero. There were a lot of things that came in, a lot of versions that came in, and the latest one was CS. So Valve created that engine which helped build all these versions along with Half-Life. But once Half-Life 1 was popular, then even Half-Life uh, parts also came in. So it was a complete series of Half-Life that they published. They kept on publishing, right? So simultaneously, that team also did well, and then Counter Strike also picked up. What engine did they use? Just a second. Built by Modder CSA by Turtle Rock. Yes. So that's Turtle Rock is a third party company which built that. Then again, CS:GO also was a third party. I mean, most of the work was done by a different company. How can we learn Pygame from scratch? YouTube is the biggest university. Just go to YouTube and start. You start looking for tutorials about it. Like, if you want to really learn this language, then I think there are not many um, institutes who can teach you that. It's mostly uh, base of something that you can use and then learn Pygame. But there might be some very good courses on Udemy and Coursera that you should explore. I'm not really sure. I'm not more into this technical part, but still, I think you'll find it on Udemy. How to start a game studio? I'll tell you just in a moment. So what I was saying is, Valve didn't really develop the game, but what the best thing that they did was create this engine. And this engine was called as Gold Source, and it was spelled as GOLD, Gold SRC. So Gold Source is a proprietary engine that these guys own. This is developed by Valve themselves, and it's basically it's a heavily modified version um, of ID Software's Quake engine. So when I say games like Quake and Doom were very popular. So John Romero, who is the legendary game designer, uh, who is responsible to create a lot of successful games like Quake, Doom. They made uh, they made this engine back in, I think, back in 1992 or 1993, and they named it ID Software, the company. And this engine, Gold Source, is basically the modified version of that core engine. That's the story. That's like every every part of this development is inspired from something successful. Um, so it's a similar kind of an engine that Valve created. But yeah, that was also used for the first time for Half-Life in 1998. And then almost every game that Half-Life series did, or Day of Defeat, or any multiplayer version of Counter-Strike series was made. So then it was succeeded with many more versions of Half-Life games. So that's about the Gold Source engine. Initially, this was the core was used in Quake game back in 1993 or 1994, somewhere during that time. So yeah, that's how Counter-Strike came to life. To be honest, now there are a lot of reasons why people love Counter-Strike is because it's very well balanced. Um, I believe it's one of the best balanced games, uh, right from the right from the maps to the weapons. Uh, having two teams, but if you see at the difficulty curve of both the teams, it's equally, uh, the difficulty is equal among both the teams. The distance from starting point to the bomb defusal area, uh, and on that path having multiple obstacles, along with the gun variations that you can find throughout. So it's a very, very, very balanced game. What makes Valorant better than CS:GO? It's a subjective thing. I personally don't believe that Valorant is better than CS:GO. It's a subjective thing. There are people who believe Valorant is better than CS:GO. It's a choice. I think one of the reasons that people love Valorant is the uniqueness that the game brings in. It has uh, it has few top ingredients from different games mixed together in this uh, you know multiplayer game, which has a base of CS:GO or Counter Strike itself, and then having that visual quality of say Overwatch or Fortnite, along with different special or magical powers or things like that from games like Dota, right? So it has top few ingredients mixed together, and I think it appealed a lot to the younger crowd. If you see the fan following of CS:GO, its majority, you'll find a lot of mature audience for CS:GO compared to what Valorant has. So it's a subjective question, and it's okay if you like Valorant. Like half the population is divided into love for CS:GO versus love for Valorant. But I personally really don't believe that Valorant is better than CS:GO. How to start a game studio? Of there's a standard way, okay, but there's also some tips that I can give you. The standard way is, if you really want to start a studio, start very small. Probably do a proprietorship, which don't take a lot of money. It's just like a 15,000 cost that you have to incur, and just register the company under proprietorship and start working. If you want to go big, go for an LLP or a private limited, but you have two directors on the board. This is the standardized way. But if you ask me, if you ask for the tips, I would say don't start a studio. Just focus on creating a game. If you want to start a game studio, just focus on creating one simple game, and complete the game, publish it, make some money from that game. If you can successfully do this, then think about starting a game studio. And to be honest, you never start a company. You basically build a company, right? And it goes step by step, and you don't even realize throughout your journey that you're building that stuff, right? So bottom line is, you don't start a company, you build a company. So just start focusing on a game that you can monetize. Just for an example, uh, everybody thinks that they're working on a game as a side hustle. They're spending some time and just creating a game for fun, and they're putting it out. What you're actually doing is you're spending a lot of time on that game. So let's say if you're working on a game for 5 months and you are putting half of your time over there is a cost to that. You're actually putting some cost towards building that game. Say if you have if someone would pay you, say, around 20,000 rupees per month for any kind of job, half of the time is going to this, which we just, for calculations, you're spending 10,000 rupees every month on that game. For 5 months, you're spending 50,000 rupees. Just make sure along the way, when you publish that game, just make sure that you make 50,000 rupees from that game. The day you make 50,000 rupees from that game, which is the amount of money you spent in making the game, if you are able to make that much money from that game, that is the time that you actually start thinking about building a business around it. For now, just focus on building a game, monetizing it well, and start earning from that game. There are a lot of things that I can talk about this topic, but we'll just basically divert the whole topic. Yeah, so like I said, one of the best things that I love about Counter Strike is it's very well balanced. If you see at the guns, some guns are very powerful, but the recoil time or the you know the price or certain things they just don't allow uh, the game to give bonus to selected players. It's the same for everybody, and if you choose to use a different weapon, there's a con to using that as well. So it's very well balanced. A bid of 1800 has been placed for a one-on-one membership. Thank you, guys. If you haven't yet checked, there's an auction panel on the right-hand corner. Just check that. People who are watching this on Creator.club, especially for them, there's an auction panel on the right-hand corner. Um, just go to that auction panel. There are two options. If you want a one-on-one membership, you can bid my time for 1 hour. We'll do a one-on-one face-to-face call separately. And if you want to join the live stream that I'll be doing next week, you can just bid it over here. So we together have a live stream and discuss on topics that you want. So just check that out. It's very interesting. One of the cool features that Creator has added to the platform. Okay, one of the things which I find very interesting is well never took it under their hook. Like they never developed the full game. There's always, and it is surprising to see that the game is so successful even when the core company is not really working, right? So that's a pretty interesting fact about Counter-Strike. Then if you see, skills, it's a skill-based game. It's a complete skill-based game. If you see people at the tournament level, it's just about the skills. It doesn't matter what level you reach. So people play for hours and hours, and they climb up the ladder, climb up the badge system. But eventually, when it comes to the game, it's all about the skill. So it's not about the levels, but it's only about the skills that matter. If you're a good skill player, you do well. As of now, the game does not support any kind of plus points or bonuses that it gives you if you pay in the game. What you get is just the skins of the guns or different textures that you that just makes the game look cooler. That's it. Again, another core thing that Counter-Strike during that time I cracked was the shorter game sessions. If you see today, playing a game like PUBG, it usually takes say around 30-40 minutes of one session, right? When you play a battle royale game. But a game like Counter-Strike had cracked it well before because shorter sessions helped a lot of people join the game. So that's one of the plus points that I feel Counter-Strike has compared to what even battle royale games like PUBG is. You play quick, you win quick, you die quick. Everything is too quick, right? And the last and the most important thing I feel is it's a team game. It's an amazing team game. Although skilled players single-handedly can win a game for you, but mostly it's a team game. And if you see in a lot of companies who believe in teamwork and take efforts to introduce things which can help teamwork, build teamwork in the company, which even we used to do. We used to compulsory, it was like a mandatory thing for us that at least 30 minutes every day we, as a team, we used to play Counter Strike. It acts as a very important tool for team building within companies, I believe. And a lot of non-gaming companies have also followed that over the years, which is great. How to publish a game? It depends, Anirudh. It depends on uh, which platform you want to publish the game. If you want to publish a game on Google Play Store, you just have to buy an Android account, a Google developer account, which is $25, I think, per year or lifetime. I don't remember. But you just do that and you can publish your games. You can just create an executable, create an APK for Google Play Store and publish it on Google Play Store. It takes around 24 to 48 hours to get uploaded, and your game is there. Same with the iOS App Store. And if you want to publish a game on Steam Store for PC, you have to go through a simple process. So you just have to first you have to build a page, the game page, where you add a wish list to that. The game page is approved by the team. Once it is approved, then you can upload the game for setting. So around about it takes around 40 to 60 days for this overall process to publish one game on PC. Earlier, Steam Store had a different mechanism where people, like anybody, used to publish a game. If your idea or concept gets green light from the community. But now, Valve has changed the mechanism to a paid model where you can publish any game you want. You just have to pay $100. But again, it goes through some authentication, but still. And when it comes to consoles, it's a huge task. You need console kits, and you have to go through the certifications and then publish. So that's the top line. I believe I have a great idea for a game, to a mobile game. How do I go about it further, and guidelines regarding this? Collaborate and create the game. To get specific mentorship from Weber, you can buy a 30-minute mentorship session with him via the options tab. Yes, please just go. Just go and buy that 30-minute mentorship session. Sorry. I want to enter game testing. What should I prepare for interview? You need to just research a bit on the process that takes place in game testing teams. There are some lingos, there are some formats that people follow. Just to give you some knowledge about it, there are bug sheets which track the errors in the game. There are test cases which are run on every module of the game, which gives you results either pass or fail and stuff like that. There is functional testing, regression testing. So functional testing is a testing which identifies the problems in the functions of the game, and regression testing is basically doing random stuff on the phone or the game. So these are few things, but the idea is to have an understanding of all these things before you go for an interview. I'm broke, sorry. Sir, big fan. I made a multiplayer game. Can you tell me something that I can add in it to make it awesome? Get inspired by bigger games. You'll figure out yourself. It's your game. You can add great stuff to it rather than just asking people. Game monetize कब होता है? When you do it, I don't get the question. Is game dev in metaverse going to be very difficult? It's the same thing. It's too early to talk about metaverse, but yeah, it's the same thing. So all in all, it's the same thing, like a simple game. Metaverse is just I'm not sure what difference has it made, but we played game called Second Life 10 years ago, which was in fact a metaverse, and it was damn fun. Uh, I'm not sure what people are doing different. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the Valve has not announced anything as of yet for CS:GO. CS:GO for Counter Strike specifically. CS:GO was the latest version that they brought in. But I think now it's available on Windows, it's on Mac OS, it's on Linux, it's on PlayStation, Xbox, even Xbox 360. And I think on the latest versions as well. I'm not sure if it's on Xbox One and PS5, but yeah, it is available on a lot of platforms. It had one of the fun facts about Counter Strike is there was an arcade game uh, that Namco developed uh, on this IP, on the same IP. A bid of 1750 has been placed for a bonus student mentorship. Why do I keep saying mentorship? Thank you. I'll be choosing a few and putting it into the calendar, and then we can have a one-on-one session with people who have bidded, who bid, who did bid today. Um, Guys, if you have any questions, please do ask. We still have some time. Uh, Also, there was I remember there was a movie. Uh, there was a movie on which the game name uh, was decided. Like there was a movie called Counter Strike during those days. Like it was very popular. I believe I have a great idea. How do I go further in guidelines regarding this? How do I go further? Shashank, one more thing. I just clicked. There are a lot of Discord channels. I have a YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, just go to the channel on YouTube and subscribe. There are around more than 300 videos on my YouTube, which can teach you a lot about game development and gaming industry overall. But I run a separate Discord channel. Similarly, Nikhil Malankar, who also runs another YouTube channel, he runs his own Discord channel. So if you share this information, if you start talking about the idea and start collaborating with people on Discord channels, you might even find a team who might be equally passionate about your idea or creating the idea that you have as a game, and you can probably build it with the help of people, right? Another thing I believe is, and that is why I keep on saying networking is important, because you get to meet like-minded people who can help you build stuff. Right? Um, Another thing that you can do is go to events, the real life events which take place in physical places. There are meetups, there are game development meetups that usually happen in different cities. You should attend those. There's IGDC, which is one of the biggest events from India. You should attend that event as well. So there are a lot of options. There are a lot of things that you can do because having an idea, nobody cares about that idea. Like everybody think they have a great idea. Everybody think their everybody thinks that their idea is the coolest kick-ass idea on the planet, but it's you you need to execute it. It doesn't really matter what the idea is. Execution is important. Everybody, like Walt Disney once said, everybody gets ideas in shower. It's the one who executes it after coming out is the one who wins. So yeah, that is it, guys. Still some time. You have just go to the auction panel, and if you want a one-on-one mentorship, just just bid for it, and we'll do a separate session, a 30-minute session, and I can answer all your queries that you have if you want to start, your career in gaming, or you want some details if you're already in gaming. प्ले स्टोर में गेम अपलोड करने के बाद एड सेंस कब मिलता है? It doesn't work that way. Like a simple example is if you have a website, you monetize that website by putting Google AdSense ads into that website. In a similar fashion, you have Google AdMob for mobile games. This is just one ad network that I'm saying. You have 100 different ad networks that you can use. There's also mediation platforms like IronSource that you can use. You have to put that SDK within the game even before it goes live. So your game, like the complete functionality of your game, a full-fledged game, but you need to add that SDK which can show ads within your game. You need to publish that version. When it gets live, then you see the ads in your game. That's how you make money. Sir, Mukti ka development ka update. Mukti development is going amazing, and we are going to announce some very big news for Mukti, probably next week itself, and we'll put it out. You just see it. Probably Mukti would be out by the end of this year. Free game asset कहाँ से download करते हैं? Go to Unity Asset Store. You go to Unity Asset Store, and there are a lot of free assets that you can use in your game. Even if you're making a commercial game, you can use those assets. Just check for some licensing which is there, which is already provided in those assets. But you can use those assets. They're free to use. Unity has millions of assets out there. Also, there are paid assets which saves a lot of your time. If you want to build a kick-ass game, just buy that. It's a very minimal fees that they ask for. Well, thanks about that brief guide towards it. We'll definitely look into your YouTube channel and Discord along with game events. You just said cheers. All right, thank you guys. That was it. Just wanted to touch base on the history of Counter-Strike, just the basics of it. Obviously, a game like this can't be made live on live stream, right? So we just talk about the stories in this section called Under the Hood by Underdog. We just talk about fantastic stories, and before Counter-Strike, we spoke about GTA. We spoke about Limbo. Today, we just touched base on Counter-Strike. And the next week, we'll talk about some other amazing game which broke all the records. So keep Keep watching. Uh, do check out Creator Club, because we have a lot of sessions on different skills, expertise. There are people from different backgrounds uh, that talk about their expertise on this platform. So do keep an eye on that, and do bid for the auction if you want the one-on-one mentorship. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being with me on this platform in this session. See you all in the next episode. Till then, bye bye.